Hello to all the Web3 enthusiasts out there. This is Max speaking, and welcome to the new episode of Synopsis. Today I'm hosting this one with our new expert guest. Please welcome Vlad Nazar, head of BD at ChainGPT. Hi, Vlad. How are you today?
Hey Max, doing great actually, can't complain. In BD and Web3, we need to be in a good mood and we need to keep building actually on a daily basis, 24/7.
Well, a great take. Good mood is the key factor uh, for at least actually our life, everyday life, and for a good interview, especially. And today's one, I'm 100% sure is gonna be hot and insightful. Gonna dive deep into the AI space, into general Web3 discussion. So we'll see. And to begin with, let's start with the intro. Since it's your first time here at Synopsis, could you please go ahead and tell a few words about your background, what you are doing right now?
Yeah, sure. So I got in Web3 in 2017, and since then basically got a lot of scars, a lot of wins, saw different cycles, saw multiple all-time highs and all-time lows, if I can say so. But keep building, keep bleeding, keep building, keep bleeding. And yep, so I do BD, I do partnerships, ecosystem grows, putting chaos on rails and turning hype into predictable pipelines.
Well, thanks for sharing. So, since it seems like you are here to make a great contribution and you understand your mission, and that's very cool because a lot of people are missing this part. Well, and of course, since you are representative of ChainGPT, half of today's discussion will be devoted to AI, as I said in the beginning. Then we'll switch to general discussion of Web3 and industry, and then a few personal questions. So this is what to expect today.
Sure.
So addressing to our audience, guys, stay tuned. Each question, I believe, will be pretty much insightful. Well, to begin with, let's start with a general but still a very important question. So, Vlad, what do you think is the most misunderstood aspect of AI right now?
Good question. Well, first of all, the biggest understanding as for me is that people treat AI like a real person, like a husband, friend, mentor, teacher, mom, whatever. So, and half of the world is actually convinced AI is this like all-knowing super brain that's all about to replace everyone tomorrow if haven't done it yet, actually. And the second half is actually things that's just a fancy autocomplete that confidently lies, produce random responses, um, creates like new information, yada yada yada. In reality, actually, AI is not a new employee; it's a new layer of automation and interface, right? It's insanely good at pattern recognition when you have a lot of data, and still pretty bad at like deep concept context, politics. It's all messy stuff. It's bad in emotional human stuff, and so on and so forth, right? And then there's like this huge fear narrative: AI will take all of our jobs. Yes, AI is already killing certain type of works. That's what we need to understand, like repetitive content creation, manual tagging, a lot of like low leverage operational tasks, and more. But at the same time, it's creating like a whole new class of work, right? So people who know how to structure problems as prompts and workflows, operators who design processes around like human plus AI instead of just human, developers who are speeding up coding, creators producing AI generated content, and we've seen a lot of it like on YouTube, TikTok, and it's hard to actually understand where's the where's the reality. So AI isn't like simply replacing people; it's reshuffling the job market, and that's it. Some roles die, new ones appear, and many existing roles get upgraded.
Well, interesting take, and I would say that humanization of the things that we meet every day is a very common trend around the globe. So people like talking to their TVs, to their cars, smartphone, whatever. And when AI can answer you in this or that way, of course, you will treat it as a human being in a certain amount of that. And of course, when we treat something as a human, we will be afraid of that it needs our job because we're in a competitive environment. And thanks for mentioning. I think this is the biggest fear of today, of being replaced by
Yeah.
AI, by soulless machines, and we will speak about it, but a little bit later. And let's continue with a little bit more basic questions, I would say. So the next thing I'd like to ask is, do you believe AI is entering its utility phase, or are we still in the experimentation mode as it usually happens with new things, new trends?
Mm-hmm. Uh, well, I would say, as for me, we have left the pure like toy phase, but we're not in the like boring like electricity phase yet. In some areas, AI is already pure utility, actually. Translation, summarization, search, brainstorming, coding copilots, first line customer support. That's what we see everywhere, actually. But it's not like a wow feature anymore. If your support team doesn't use AI today, well, most likely you are more expensive than your competitors. And but if you zoom out to companies as a whole, both startups, well-known established enterprise businesses, we're still in this like mass experimentation phase. Everywhere you see different pilots, POCs, simple automations, but very few organizations have actually rewritten their like whole processes around AI, changed org structure and roles, tied AI usage to hard business metrics. So I would call this space like useful experiments as for now.
Well, sounds interesting. So, since we are somewhere in between, but still the entire niche or industry, whatever you call it, is growing exponentially, I would say, and new features are appearing and new companies, which are actually startups in the beginning. So, what about your expectation? What do you think will be the next wave of AI native startups?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, we need to understand the first wave first, right? So the first wave of AI startups was basically we plugged a big model, a big LLM into a nice UI, or we added like AI to our company name, and we're good to go. That's fine, but it's like not durable at all. The next wave will be AI backed into the core economics of the product, not just the interface. I see three patterns here nowadays. So the first one is that AI that drives revenue, not just saves time, not an AI system that helps a salesperson, for example, but an agent that actually qualify, nurture leads, run follow-ups, optimize pricing offers, and more, right? Covering like day-to-day BD operations. Second area is actually deep vertical AI products, not like AI for lawyers or or like niche stuff, generic stuff. I'm referring to niche trained or LLMs or small language models. It can be like AI for local tax law, AI for, I don't know, a European agriculture, AI for Germany, German education, for example, and so on and so forth. So like a specific ones. And the third wave is actual agents that actually do things, not just chat. Agents that log into different tools, move money, change statuses, trigger workflows, like, book tickets, make purchases, and that's a very like different product from a chatbot that gives you suggestions and answer your basic questions.
Wow, sounds sick, I would say, and it's hard to uh, imagine that we could seriously discuss this like 2 years ago. But right
Yeah.
now, this seems like the future is already here, and so many big things are coming. Well, we'll be looking forward to see what's coming next. The time will show, and I hope that the next time we meet here with you, Vlad, to discuss what has come to life and what has been achieved and what new crazy milestones should we expect.
Or with my AI version.
Sure. And before we move on to the general Web3 landscape overview, let's circle back to the beginning of today's discussion and the main fear of people being replaced by machines and AI. So, in your opinion, what's the one area where AI will not replace humans for at least a very long time, if not forever?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you strip all of the buzzwords away, there are like two things AI is nowhere near replacing, actually. Taking responsibility and earning trust. You can absolutely use AI to generate options, surface insights, simulate scenarios, brainstorm go-to-market ideas, and so on and so forth. But when you're in a room, like deciding, do we shut down this business line and lay people off, or do I want to build a relationship with this person? Well, there's too much context, politics, emotions, human behavior, and long-term trust involved in such a decision. So AI um, cannot assist you here like at all. The second is taste, I would say, as for me. Of course, AI, I can explain what I mean. AI can mimic styles, generate endless variations, images, videos, remix everything we have like already seen, but uh we still rely on human taste and behavior, right? In terms of designs, in terms of how it should look like, and the general approach. And yep, then there's like deep relationships, negotiations, co-founder dynamics, strategic partnerships, team leadership. Um, that's pretty much it, actually.
Well, so instead of being afraid and trying to fight against AI and new technologies, it's better to evolve and integrate it to make your life easier and become more productive. And if you are a real professional who can make a real contribution for the business, I think you should not be really afraid of being replaced, because maybe if we even speak about integration of AI into literally every segment of business, still people will be needed, and the real professionals will always be needed as well.
Yep.
Well, and if we speak now about the general Web3, let's begin with a common question to the one which was about AI. So, Vlad, do you think Web3 is finally maturing, or are we still cycling between narratives without real fundamentals?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say that Web3 right now um, feels like a very tall teenager, bigger, stronger, still a bit chaotic, but it's still a teenager, right? On one hand, the space is clearly maturing, and we have stablecoin rails with deep liquidity. We have institutional grade compliance wise products, better custody, on and off ramps, and more, right? On the other hand, we absolutely still cycle through narratives like NFTs, um, X402, AI agents, GameFi, memes, AI crypto, and more. We still fall in love with like acronyms before we fall in love with users and real adoption. And the difference between like now and 2017, when I originally joined the crypto space, is that every bubble leaves real infrastructure behind. So good products with tooling, standards, liquidity, developer ecosystems. So I would say we're not like fully mature, but we are not just a story um, anymore either.
Well, anyways, it's pretty pleasant to hear that we're measuring in this or that way. And it's been not a very long time since the entire industry actually was born, but we've seen so many cycles, so many trends come and vanish, so many narratives, bubbles, and stuff like this. So, out of all of this mass and ocean of information, which Web3 verticals do you believe will survive long term? What is fundamental and is here to stay?
Carbon verticals we have right now, of course, new might pop up as well. But overall, if you strip away from the noise, a few verticals look extremely durable as for me, right? The first one is, of course, stable coins and payments. This already works. People don't use stable coins just because they love crypto. They use them because it's faster, cheaper, sometimes more accessible than like local banking, for example. And in some countries, like safer for their savings. Second, I would say it's definitely real world assets tokenization, security assets, and so on and so forth. Debt, funds, real estate, commodities, invoices, boring stuff that actually runs the world, the Web2 world right now. Putting that on chain gives you like 24/7 markets, programmable cash flows, transparent ownership, cost savings, collateral, and more. And by the way, kudos to projects like Starbucks that are tokenizing stuff for almost 10 years now. And finally, of course, it's on-chain identity and reputation in a practical, like non-hype form. Um, Probably credit scoring, like work history, governance participation, reputation inside communities, um, stuff you can carry across different platforms.
Well, so these are the real basics, fundamentals that have a real utility and actually align with the nature and naturally born standards of Web3 itself. So, anyways, the future will show, and we'll be tracking what's going on, but still keeping an eye on these fundamental things. And of course, speaking about the industry growing, maturing, and fundamental things, everyone is always, of course, coming to the mass adoption, which was the major thing to discuss like the last year. Right now, it's not so popular because there are bigger trends, but still, let's speak about onboarding more users and making crypto closer to people. So, Vlad, what do you think is the biggest barrier preventing Web3 from onboarding the next, let's say, 10 million users, if there is any?
Up 2 million users. Yeah, sure. So what we need to understand, the barrier is like biggest barrier is super simple actually. Uh, no one wakes up thinking about Web3 or wanting Web3. People wake up wanting to send money cheaply and reliably, protect their savings from inflation or bad policy, earn online, have more control over their data, assets, and so on and so forth, like human needs. But we keep selling them technology, not outcomes. That's the problem. And since 99% of Web3 founders are tech folks, compared to Web2 founders, to Web2 businesses where founders are actually businessmen, ex sales guys, marketers, and still based on this tech folk foundation, we still have like super complicated technology and user journey. We have terrible UX. That's true. Like seed phrases, networks, bridges, gas fees, protocols. It's like we design it for insiders, for tech insiders. Of course, it's inconsistent regulation and painful on ramps. In some places, it's harder to buy like a small amount of crypto just to pay for gas than to open a bank account. It's a reality, and very few actually truly must-have consumer apps that solve a real pain, not just give you another like token to speculate on, complete daily tasks, and earn your airdrop. And to get the next 10 million users, we need apps that say here's how you save money, here's how you can chat with your friends, here's how you can get an access you didn't have before, and more, right? And if the user never even knows a wallet was created or blockchain being used under the hood, well, it's not the feature, it's not a bug, it's real adoption.
Well, it's again sounds like we need more usability, being user friendly, and of course bringing utility to this world. And while we're waiting for the next 10 million people on board, what do you think will be the next major narrative in crypto?
Short term, the most upcoming on, as for me, it's going to be prediction, predictify, whatever you like. And we already see a massive interest to polar market and similar to it platforms. We are already seeing a shift from number go up because wipes to show me where the money actually comes from, right? But overall, there are like three ingredients. First is real yield instead of like pure Ponzinomics. Protocols where revenue is tied to real activity, lending against like real collateral, infra usage, or the thing, I don't know, RWAs, that kind of thing. Second is most likely going to be AI and crypto in a useful form, not just we added AI to the white paper. But like marketplaces for compute data and models. So okay, we see marketplaces already, but still it's not the peak. Cryptographic that guarantees that certain, I don't know, computations or training activity actually happen with this LLM or with this AI agent. Provenance of data and model outputs. That's pretty much it in terms of AI crypto. And the third one is actually the third narrative. Long term, it's going to be consumer apps with sustainable token design. Social, creator economy, collaboration tools where tokens are used for, I don't know, access, coordination, profit sharing in-game or in-app purchases. It's not just the lottery tickets.
Well, thanks for sharing. It seems like you have a pretty clear vision of what to expect, and also like the term of predictify. Never heard it before. Don't know. Maybe it was invented by you right now. Still, I like it.
Yeah,
And
it's early.
yeah, and everything you just said sounds absolutely reasonable. 100% agree, and actually nothing to add here. We'll just be once again looking forward to seeing this coming to life. And getting closer to the final part of today's podcast, let's combine and make kind of a summary, quintessence of what's been discussed. So let's speak about take AI, take crypto, take predictions.
Mm.
And the question would be, how do you see AI influencing the next crypto cycle? Real use case or just another narrative?
Well, in crypto, to be honest, it's definitely going to be both. In the short term, AI is already a narrative amplifier, right? Slap AI on a token and a certain part of the market will rotate into it just because it has AI. No matter what's under the hood. We have seen this movie before multiple times. But behind the noise, actually, there are like real use cases where AI and crypto make sense together. First of all is AI agents with wallets, with ability to make purchases, to send transactions, and so on and so forth, independent ones and quality ones. Second, it's marketplaces for AI resources, still quality ones. And third one is trust and verification around AI. Basically proven that, so proven. So yeah, there will be like a speculative AI narrative wave in crypto, and it still exists. But I also think we will look back and realize that some of the core rails for AI economics, like AI agents, compute markets, provenance, were quietly built during the same cycle, and we see uh quality projects pop up and they stay here and they keep building.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, AI is a big thing, a really big thing, and it will be followed by speculations, of course. But in the core, it's here to stay. And AI, as you said, and crypto make uh, a great sense of being together. And that sounds great. And what about our journey within this Web3 and AI today within the discussion? So we came up to the final part. So a few personal questions to you, Vlad, if you don't mind, to finish it up.
Go ahead.
Well, the year is getting closer to the end. We're recording it in the end of Q4, and it's a great time to make some conclusions, some summaries. Could you please share what's the one thing you've changed your mind about in Web3 in the last year?
Well, still my personal opinion, but I've changed my mind quite a lot about NFTs. And for a long time, still my personal opinion. I honestly saw NFTs as like mostly speculation plus hype plus very expensive images, JPEGs. And over the last year, I started to see NFTs less pictures as and more as a very like flexible digital ownership. And NFT can represent actually your access to a community or subculture, membership or subscription to specific like services or platforms, a ticket, a license, a role, I don't know, or a piece of your on-chain identity and history. Do you think that like 90% of projects of NFT projects from the last cycle will matter? No. So most of them were like pure hype. But I stopped automatically dismissing anything that starts with NFT project and I take it serious.
Well, first of all, thanks for sharing. Sounds like you need a certain bravery nowadays to say that you change your attitude towards NFTs, but actually that's true when the hype vanishes, when you see the uh, core usability and utility behind all these trash pictures trading. It seems like the technology is not dead at all, and there are so many use cases. Just needs some time to recover after that crazy hype back in the days. And yeah, once again, thanks for sharing. Pretty interesting. And the person who never changes his or her mind, I think should change their mind
It's not
about
growing.
this approach.
Yep.
Well, pretty interesting how the AI discussion finishes up with NFTs, but it's like the entire industry. You never know what's coming next. And well, to finish today's discussion, I suggest you, Vlad, address directly to our audience with some piece of advice, maybe even New Year wishes, call to actions, whatever you like to people to share with people right now. Please go ahead.
It's going to be an advice based on this market condition and based on the upcoming ones and based on the best ones. Since, like a reminder, I've been here since 2017 and saw a lot of different cycles. So if you're in a bad mode and it feels like everything is collapsing, prices goes down, narrative's dead, crypto is over again, the thing I would say is like take a step back, go for a walk, go for a hangout, whatever. So and zoom out, of course. Look at the big picture. Like every cycle feels like the end of the world when it's like inside when you're inside it, right? But structurally, that's how this space grows and any financial market grow. We don't go straight up, we move in waves. And to take 2 steps forward, you often need 1 step back. That's one more take. And that's how still markets reset. Weak projects die, strong ones get built quietly, and we know this playbook. So don't make life-changing decisions based on a bad week or bad months or on a bad day. Use the down phase to learn, build, upgrade yourself, rest, allocate your energy somewhere else, right? So the cycle will turn again, and the question is who you'll be by the time it does.
Well, thanks for sharing. I would say sounds like a pretty simple, but at the same time, a pretty wise idea that many people should keep in mind. I personally made so many bad decisions, lost so many money because of just being emotional. And
As everyone.
I like how you are circling back to the very, very beginning of today's podcast. A good mood is a very important thing, but at the same time, it doesn't come out of nowhere. Just try controlling your emotions, following your strategies, and this will save a lot of nerves and energy. And yeah, that's a very good reminder to end today's discussion. I hope it will reach people's mind, hearts, maybe. Well, and for today, that's it. Thank you very much, Vlad, for joining in today. It was a pleasure to meet and hope to see you in more episodes.
Thanks, Max, for having me. Thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That's important. I'm not a YouTuber, but that's what I know. And shake in your hand digitally, guys. See you next year.
Awesome, Andin. Yeah, also addressing to our audience, thank you guys for watching till the end. Shaking virtual hands is good, but showing the virtual thumbs up to see Vlad in more episodes is at least not worse. And yeah, stay tuned, guys. Keep safe. Follow Vlad, follow ChainGPT, not to miss the big things. For Synopsis, of course. See you in more episodes. Bye bye, everyone.